I could not wait to get here on Monday to share this with everybody because I was so excited about this. A couple weeks ago, Angie and I both did stories about bioidentical hormone replacement. Angie, you did a story about women.
Kind of the female
helping
version
women,
of it.
and then I did it talking about how it can help men as well. So when I was in there talking to Dr. Robert Jones, which is who we both talked to for the story, I decided to get a blood test done because, you know, I've been really tired. And, you know, remember that day that I came in and you were making fun of me on the air because I was, like, crying in the makeup room for no reason?
I was crying after
Nisha
said,
It was when you were on maternity leave.
Was I on maternity leave?
And then I was filling in for you, and I walked into the makeup room and I was crying for no reason. It just, you know, it was just hitting me. And I said, something's not right. You know, I'm not feeling right. So we did my blood test with the thought that maybe my hormone levels were off. And boy, were they. It was so weird. I walked in and he said, I have to tell you, I was surprised when I saw your test results that they were yours because I'm 36. And he said he had just had a 62-year-old woman in before, and her levels were better than mine. So he tested for, and he said, and this is actually not unusual.
What is he testing for?
He tested for estrogen, progesterone, a very important hormone called DHEA, which a lot of people don't know very much about. And then he tested for thyroid, but here's the exciting thing about thyroid. Most doctors will only test you for what's called TSH and T4. Those are the most popular tests, and if you're out there and you've had tests for your thyroid, you know what I'm talking about. What they don't usually test you for is T3, and just quickly, not to get too complicated about it, but T4 converts into T3, and T3 is like the little soldier thyroid hormone in your body that actually gets all the work done. You have less of it in your body, but it does more. Well, if your T3 levels are low, then that's why you could still be feeling lethargic, and so he tested me, and my TSH and my T4 were normal. So had I gone to any place else, they would have said, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
But your T3...
My T3 was low, and I knew there was something wrong with me. So
what do you do?
I am so excited. So I'll take a natural replacement for T3, and then some hormone creams for progesterone, because my progesterone was very low, and my DHEA was very low. And what I want to stress to everybody is that, you know, I'm 36, and you wouldn't think that I'd be old enough to have problems with that. And boy, he nailed it. So Dr. Jones is my...
Isn't it nice to know that there is something, rather than just, you know, okay, I don't know what's going on with me. You can put a name to it and
I was so glad to know. I was so excited when he told me, wow, your numbers are in the basement. I was like, really? Great! Because you know something.
It's a relief
that you know what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us your name.
Jennifer Vincent.
And how old are you?
I'm 36. Well, probably the biggest thing was menstrual symptoms. My cramps were unbelievable, increased flow, sleep was very poor, was not sleeping at all, waking up 3 or 4 times every night thinking that that was normal. Cold, constantly cold hands, fingers, feet, very moody, very irritable with my family, my husband, and hormones. My body was given a D+ grade with my hormone levels, and just by taking just a few pills, it's changed almost 100%.
Better.
Sleeping, by the time I go to sleep, I don't wake up until my alarm goes off, which is wake up feeling much more rested. Yeah, I get up every morning, go for a run, work out. I wasn't able to do that in the past, and do it every day now, and yeah, just everything.
Marie, tell us a little bit about your history. Where were you, say, 2 years ago, health-wise?
Awful. When I was 16, I started my periods, and I've only had them 3 to 4 times a year. And so I got married 6 years ago, and about 3.5 we tried to start getting pregnant, and I had several problems. I've never slept good. I've never had normal periods. I was always moody. The main thing was the sleep. That was like the biggest thing for me. I was always tired and not performing well at work or school because I was so tired. In a matter of 3 months, they put me on this thyroid steroid that I gained 40 pounds in 3 months. And
did it help?
No. It didn't do anything. They took me off of it because it didn't do anything. And so last year I came in and met with Dr. Jones, and he put me on, he did my level testing and my estrogen. I remember my estrogen level was at 364, and it was supposed to be around 60, and that's, I just remember that one in particular. And then progesterone level, I was at 0.4, and Dr. Jones told me I was supposed to be at between 20 and 30. Because immediately, my husband actually will tell everybody, the night that I got my progesterone, I took 2 pills of it per Dr. Jones' instructions, and I was still dressed. I got in bed and I just laid down on my bed and I conked, and he could not wake me up, and I did not wake up for 10 hours. And I woke up the next morning like feeling completely different, and my husband was like, I could not move you. I woke up in the same position I had fell asleep in. My clothes were still on, and he was just like, I couldn't wake you up. I started having periods every month, and that has never happened since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And good. I'm pregnant, 6 months pregnant. I feel really good, and it's just completely changed my life. I sleep every night, so.
Okay, I'll move you to 2 o'clock.
Come on back with me.
Thank you, bye-bye.
So a lot of you seeing this are probably never going to be here because we do telemedicine. And that's great, but we just want to show you what goes on here where we are. So this is where we've got PAs, MAs, medical assistants. Stephanie, stick your head out. There we go. So these ladies here run the place. They do it all. We've got other offices around here where we see patients, and we do things like intravenous therapy. You can look in there. Wave hi.
Hi.
Okay. Because this is where I do the work. And like I said, this is where the magic happens. This is where we do our consultations. So I'm just going to have a seat and explain a lot to you. So I want to share with you 3 secrets. Secret number 1 is your doctor that you've been seeing, or doctors that you've been seeing, may have run tests on you, blood tests of one sort or another. And when the tests come back, they sit you down and they say, well, everything looks good in your blood test. Everything's fine, and that's it. And then you want to look at the doctor and say, then why do I feel so crummy all the time? What's going on here? Well, the secret is just because your doctor didn't find anything positive on your blood test doesn't mean that you should stop looking for answers. That's not the way this works. And we have thousands and thousands of patients, both male and female, that come in here over the years and have already been to several doctors and they haven't found the answers. So they're still looking. So that's what I want you to remember first is don't stop looking for answers, because there are answers out there, medical answers. There are answers to why you're so tired, for instance, or why are you depressed? You don't want to take an antidepressant. Why are you so overweight and you can't lose the weight no matter what you do, no matter how much you exercise and diet, it's not working. Your metabolism is slow. Okay, so we look at all those things in detail in ways that other doctors don't. To the second secret. You may have been tested and found that there's nothing wrong with you, everything was normal, but I want you to know that's not your fault. You really need to understand that. What's happening is there's a big difference on blood tests between being normal and being healthy. And that's a huge thing for you to realize, because just being in the normal range does not mean you're healthy. And yet you're going to go to the rest of your life thinking that you were okay when you haven't felt good all those years. The secret is that there is a big difference and you have to be tested properly. So when we see you, we're not going to do what's called a comprehensive metabolic panel, testing your liver, your kidneys, your sodium, your potassium, your cholesterol. We assume your doctor's already done that and everything was normal. We're going to look specifically at your hormones. You've probably never had your hormones tested except one little test on your thyroid. And most of the time women come in here, that part is normal on that. That doesn't mean they have a healthy thyroid. So it's in the testing where we actually find out what's really going on. So it reminds me of a patient that was just in here yesterday. She's 29 years old. She's got lots of health problems, and she's been to different doctors. And we ran the blood tests on her, but we checked her hormones in ways that other doctors don't. Blood tests come back. I sat down with her and her husband, and we went over it. And at the end of it, she looked at me and I said, "Do you have any questions?" And she says, "I don't even know where to start." And I said, "Well, what are you feeling right now?" And I loved her answer. She said, "I just feel validated." She said, "Because I've been told I was okay when I wasn't really. And I really started to think, I'm crazy, I'm losing it." And I said, "No, you're not. It's your hormones are out of balance. Once we can fix those, you're going to see such a change in how you feel, how you view your whole life, your family, your husband, everything's going to change. You're going to start sleeping better. You're going to have more energy. But we have to get to the root cause of the problem, and that is hormones." So a lot of people call our office and just say, "What's the process? What do we do?" Well, the first thing you do is you'll have a consultation with one of our physician's assistants or nurse practitioners, and they will take your history. We want to know what's going on, okay? Then after they take your history in depth, then they're going to send you out for blood work. You'll do that wherever you live. If you live here in this area, we're going to send you to a local lab. If you live across the United States, then we're going to send you to a lab in your own neighborhood. So then that's when the exciting stuff really starts happening, because it takes maybe a week, 10 days, something like that, to get your lab work, all the results sent back to us. We get it, we call you, and we make an appointment. We love to have your spouse or significant other with you when we go over that. Why? Because they need to know why you're feeling the way you're feeling all these years. It's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're grumpy all the time for no reason at all. There are reasons behind this. So then we sit down with you and we go over in, I always say, gory detail, your blood test. Each hormone we're going to talk about. So here's the way I kind of describe it. Let's take the example of thyroid. Here's the whole range on the blood test for thyroid, the normal range. Okay, and let's say yours comes back and your thyroid level is right here. So here's the magic question. Are you in the normal range? Yes, you are. You're in the normal range. You're in the low normal range, but you're in the normal range. So most doctors are going to look at that and say, your thyroid's fine. I think you're probably just depressed. Here's a prescription for Prozac. See you next year. Well, that's not the way we do things here. We want to say, where do you want to be in this thyroid range? Well, you want to be somewhere up in what we call the optimal range, where you actually have vitality, where you actually feel good all the time, where you have the energy that you want to have to play with your kids, to go exercise, to do the things you want, okay? Because that's what life is all about. If I were to say one thing about what we do here, it's all about what doctors call QOL, quality of life, okay? We want you to have a better quality of life. And through testing your hormones and finding out, I looked at progesterone. Oh, progesterone was down here too. It's in the normal range, right? But it was low. Well, thousands and thousands of women that we have taking bioidentical natural progesterone. The one thing that within 3 days they call up, or when we talk to them later, they'll say, "Oh, wow, I haven't slept like this since I was a teenager." So, yeah, and there's no side effects from this progesterone. It's just the hormone that your body should be making, but it's not making it. So that's the type of thing that we want to change with you, without giving you a lot of medications that are full of side effects. We want to give you hope that things can change. Things can change. And our success rate is really good. Yes, we have our failures, but they're few and far between. And a lot of them are so afraid to try. We talk to you about your diet. We talk to you about what supplementation should you have, because we want a whole lifestyle change for you. And some are so set in their ways that they aren't willing to make a change. And sometimes I just have to almost take them and shake them. Come on, you can do this. You can get better. You can get over all this that you've been suffering from all these years. I always joke with my patients, well, at this point, we've gone over all your hormones. We have two choices. We can either take you out behind the barn and shoot you, or we can change things and make you healthy and feel good again. So we try to have a sense of humor while we do this.